Hey friends, it's Ashley, and today is an exciting video because I am back with some cut files for the Cut Shop. I am using the new one that I created here called Camp Life, and it is set up as a traveler's notebook cut file. This is going to be available in the store today, and it is set up in two different formats. I have it set up as 4 by 8 in case you like to work inside the page protectors, and also have it set up as 5 by 8.25 if you like to work outside the page protectors like I do. So I am going to get started here backing this cut file, and I am using the Summer Camp digital collection from Tracy Reed Designs, and I just printed out some small pieces here that I could fit behind my cut file. So I'm just going to do a couple of these in case you're new to this, and I like to use these glossy accents because it has a really fine point on it, and it helps your pattern paper stick to the back of the cut file here. So I'm going to do the alphas for the title in this little orange pattern. If you have some excess that sometimes it's not a perfect science, when you cut those out, you can just go back with your scissors and trim those extra pieces off. And I'm going to do one more little piece here on the camper, the little window, and I'm going to go ahead and get that cut out and put in. And you can see the cut file at the beginning of the video. It does have 3 different designs. This is just one of them off of that set. They all 3 do come in that one set for the cut file. So now I have pretty much everything done. I'm going to do one more little piece here. This is just a little heart shape that I'm going to add as kind of a window on the door of the camper. And it was pretty tiny, so I really didn't even worry too much about cutting that one perfectly, just because I knew it would fit in that little space there of the heart. So the Cut Shop has been on break for a couple of years. I had gotten to a point where I just wasn't having enough inspiration to create cut files anymore, and things were busy. So I did stop in 2020, but I decided it was a good time to come back. So I hope you'll check out the shop. I'll leave a link down in the description so you can check that out later. I did want to do something different since a lot of these cut files have outlines, and there are some solid parts. You don't really get to back it. So I wanted to add some color to it, and I thought I would grab my Distress Oxide inks and then just use my finger to kind of paint some color over some of those pieces, like the little tent shape that I had in the Camp Life, the trees, and I kind of had my leftover pieces here from where I had cut the cut file. So I put those back in the sun as a mask to kind of keep from getting any of that ink on the pattern paper of the sun. It wasn't an exact science, but it was pretty close. And you could do this by masking off with like washi tape or other paper if you wanted to keep it a clean look. I didn't care if it was a little bit messy. So you could do that also. And I'm sure there are some of the little sponge applicators that you could also try using to get that done. So now I've got the cut file in place on the left hand side, and I'm going to start working on the right hand side, and I'm going to start adding my photos and embellishments. So I had 3 photos, and I wanted to kind of arrange these in an offset, so that would leave me some room on each side, just to add some stamping and some embellishing. I did do a few of the embellishments from the summer camp collection, and just trying to get those kind of placed to see where I want those to go. And then I'm going to do some stamping. I love this little stamp set from Close to My Heart. I ordered it through Erica Thompson, who is Erica Rose Creates. I'll leave a link to this also. But I just fell in love with the adventure and the nature words, and so I knew I wanted to use this stamp set on this layout. And so I did adventure right beside one of the photos, and I'm going to make kind of a couple of stamped embellishments here using some extra pieces of the little pattern papers that I had left over. So I'm going to stamp 2 of the phrases on the yellow and the teal, and then I can cut those out to kind of just create some custom embellishments. And I like to stamp in black, especially when I'm using a collection that has a lot of bright colors like this, just to add some contrast, so that everything's not kind of the same color. So that's why I didn't choose to stamp with coordinating colors of the Distress Oxide. So now you can see I'm getting those 2 phrases cut out, and I'm just going to create some little embellishment clusters around the photos with the stamped phrases, and the little embellishments from the digital kit. And I wanted to have some dimension in those clusters. So I do grab my pop dots to add behind the little banner pieces, just to pop those up so everything is just not flat and on top of one another. And when I work in my traveler's notebooks, since I use a life crafted album, I don't mind having some dimension in those. I can usually only fit about maybe 15 to 18 layouts in each album, but that doesn't really bother me because I do like to have the dimension when I can get it added. So I'm going to get that one in place, and I kind of offset the colors. You can see that the top cluster has the yellow and the teal mixed, and then the bottom cluster I did it the opposite. And then this is one of the other little embellishments. I had initially tried using that one on the left hand side, but then I thought about cutting it in half and placing it above and below that photo, and I really liked how that turned out. This stamp set is from Carrie Bradford Studio, and it is called October Mood. I wanted to use some of those little leaves next to Adventure just to kind of fill in some of that space. And this one is created to be a layered stamp, so you have the outline and the inside part. I just did one of those because I wanted both of them to kind of have a different look. And I really like Carrie Bradford's stamp sets because she has a lot of phrases. So I am going to do some stamping with some phrases here. I did one right on the paper on the left hand side. And I did grab a couple of these little cork geotags from my Ali Edwards travel collection. I'm going to add a couple of those also just to bring in some more texture to the layout. And here I am doing those little phrases. I love these. The good thing about these little word phrases on stamps is if you stamp them onto, well, I like to use white paper, but you could use any color. They actually look like the little sticker phrases. I'm sure a lot of you have gotten like the little sticker books with the phrases, like Tim Holtz has those. But if you have these and they're in a stamp set, you can make as many of them as you want in as many colors as you want, and they never run out. So I like to have those look like the little word phrase stickers. And I'm just going to do 3 here that I can add into those groups of my photos. And I wish I would have done October Mood a little lower, because on that first photo we were actually playing mini golf at our campsite and I covered up the green. And so I wish I would have placed that one a little lower, but after I realized it, I really didn't feel like peeling it up off of the photo and leaving tape residue behind. So I just decided to go with it and leave it where it was. So I got all of those in place, and I wanted to add some color to that adventure stamp. So I grabbed my colored pencils that I got from Heidi Swap. She has these in her shop, and I just got 3 coordinating colors. I'm going to do the first letters here just so you can see the color scheme in action. And I'll finish the rest of that off camera, and I'm just going to kind of alternate, and you'll be able to see that here once I'm done. So I just kind of varied the colors in each row, and I really like the way that that turned out. I also wanted to use this little kind of dash stamp from the Close to My Heart set to create a little road look under the camper. And I just cut out a circle to place over the wheel just to use as a mask so it wouldn't get any ink there on my tire. And I'm going to go ahead and add my printed journaling here on the transparent sticker paper and just get that in place. And I am going to finish off with a couple of other stamps here, just some little trees. And that will finish up my project for today. I'll link up the products that I used in the description box, so make sure you check those out if you're interested in any of the products that I used today. If you enjoyed today's video, please leave a thumbs up, and if this is your first time to my channel, I would love for you to become a new subscriber. Thanks so much for watching today, and I look forward to seeing you next time.